What if I told you that sculptures could talk? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel About Art. Now if you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We're going to dive right in today. We are back in the Eternal City, the city of Rome. And today we're going to be looking at 6 sculptures, all of which share a common theme, a common ability. That is, they can speak. Now for those of you who follow my Instagram page, you might have seen me mention a couple of these sculptures, but I have had people asking about them. So today you get to see all of them. So in the 16th century in Rome, a certain tradition was born. The people of the general public started to attach anonymous notes and verse that would criticize the papal government and other authorities to the bases of certain statues, as if they were speaking on their behalf. Now this tradition became so fruitful over the years and the sculptures became so famous that eventually each sculpture was assigned an individual name. So the 6 sculptures are Pasquino, Marforio, Madama Lucrezia, Abbot Luigi, Babuino and Ilfaquino. Now believe it or not, this tradition is still very much alive today. So the Roman people are imbuing these sculptures with life, with the ability to speak and talk. I think it's just fantastic. Now we are currently in Piazza di Pasquino, which is where our first and the most significant of the 6 talking sculptures is located. So this talking sculpture's name is Pasquino. Now, as I just mentioned, Pasquino is the most significant of the 6 talking sculptures. He was the first to embody this role as the spokesperson for the city of Rome. Now, Pasquino is an ancient Hellenistic sculpture dating back to the 3rd century BC. Originally, he was one of the sculptures adorning the Stadium of Domitian, which is today Piazza Navona. Now, it's not clear who this sculpture was originally meant to represent, but most likely a figure from Greek mythology, such as Hercules, Ajax, or, most likely, Menelaus supporting the dead body of Patroclus, whose torso we can see diagonally overlapping Pasquino's body. For more on this mythological story, go straight to the description box below this video. Now the sculpture is incredibly damaged. As you can see, it's missing its arms, it's missing its legs, and its face is barely visible. He remained buried underground for years and years until the year 1501, when he was discovered during some roadwork, some renovation work in Piazza di Pasquino. They discovered this antique sculpture and they decided to put it up on a pedestal for everyone to see. There are several legends concerning the origin of the name Pasquino. According to some, there used to be a headmaster who lived in the area who bore a striking resemblance to the statue, and so it was named after him by his students. Now, as you can see in the background, this sculpture is still incredibly popular today. People come on a daily basis to attach provocative political messages or little verses on the board that is found to the right of Pasquino. And other people come to just read people's comments and have a little laugh. Now, over time, these aggressive and satirical comments that were associated with Pasquino came to be known as Pasquinate, after the name of the sculpture. So if you ever have a complaint and you are in Rome, you know where to come. Now, what's wonderful about this sculpture is that he really seems to be embodying his role. His upper torso is twisted and his head looks upwards to the right, as if he is just about to speak. Moreover, what I think is incredibly apt here is the fact that you cannot read his face. Without any readable, recognizable and identifiable features, Pasquino is able to stand for the general anonymous public. So there you have it. For years, this inconspicuous figure has acted as a medium through which the people of Rome openly mocked the papal government and other authorities. Okay, so we are currently at the Capitoline Hill to look at our next talking sculpture, whose name is Marforio. Now, due to the recent closure of all museums in Rome because of COVID, I was unable to access Marforio. As you can see, I was just able to get a glimpse of him through the opening of these 2 large doors. So we're going to have to call upon the aid of photographs. Now, Marforio is the second most important of the 6 talking sculptures. He was known primarily for his dialogues with Pasquino. So one of the 2 figures would pose a political question and the other would answer with a satirical comment. When that tradition first started, Marforio was actually located at the foot of the Campidoglio, so he was easier to access for the general Roman public. Now, Marforio is a colossal marble sculpture from the Roman era. Originally, he was meant to represent probably Triton, if not another figure related to water, such as Neptune or a personification of the Tiber River. So essentially, he is some sort of river god. But today, of course, his function has changed. He is now another spokesperson for the people of Rome. He is this bearded character who lies languidly on his left side. In my opinion, he looks like somebody in a relaxed position waiting to have a long drawn-out conversation. Again, there are legends concerning the name. It probably derives from the Martis Forum, where the statue was first located in front of the Mamertine prison. Another legend suggests that the name derives from an inscription on the statue, not visible anymore, which said Mare in Foro. So these 6 talking sculptures, also known as the Congregation of Wits, are located all around the city centre of Rome. Some of them are located in quite inconspicuous positions, so they go unnoticed by a lot of people today. Okay guys, so next on our journey we have Madama Lucrezia. Now this talking sculpture is a fragmented sculpted bust. We do not know the exact date of execution. She was originally meant to portray the Egyptian goddess Isis, or a priestess from the temple of Isis. But as we have done so far, let's disregard her original function. From the 16th century onwards, she became a powerful means for the people of Rome to express their discontent against the papal government. Now Madama Lucrezia is the only female of the 6 talking sculptures, so we've got our female advocate right here. She is named after Lucrezia d'Algano, the lover of the King of Naples during the 15th century, who lived in exile near this statue. Lucrezia was actually given this sculpture as a gift. Now this bust is absolutely colossal. Now I'm standing as close as I can possibly get to Madama Lucrezia, and she doesn't even fit in the frame, she's so big. What I particularly love about Madama Lucrezia is her gaping open mouth. This really creates the impression that she's just about to make a proclamation. Okay, so we are currently very close to our next talking sculpture, Abbot Luigi. Abbot Luigi symbolizes an orator or a magistrate, and he's dressed in senator's robes. He stands in this elegant contrapposto position, the stance of an orator who is just about to give a speech. His head has been replaced a couple of times. You can see that currently he doesn't have a head, which is a bit of a shame. This talking sculpture dates back to antiquity, and again, we do not know the exact date of execution. Now, the name of this talking sculpture was derived from the fact that this statue was thought to bear a striking resemblance to the sexton of the Church of the Most Holy Shroud at the Argentina, who was named Luigi. Now, the pedestal on which Abbot Luigi stands bears an inscription which confirms his identity as a spokesperson for the general public, much like Pasquino and Marforio. Let's take a closer look at exactly what the inscription says. It's written as if being spoken by Abbot Luigi himself. I was a citizen of ancient Rome. Now all call me Abbot Luigi. Along with Marforio and Pasquino, I conquer eternal fame for urban satire. I received offenses, disgrace, and burial, till here I found new life, and finally, safety. Now the cool thing about these sculptures is that they were built, well, some of them were built in antiquity. All of them, however, were built prior to them adopting their new persona as talking sculptures of Rome. So they were all built with a different original function in mind, and then they adopted their new persona over time. So they're a great example of how the function of art can change and mutate over time depending on the context. So here we go, guys. This is our next talking sculpture, Ilfaquino, also known as La Fontana del Facchino or the Porter Fountain. He is actually the youngest of all the talking sculptures, so he was executed in 1580. He represents an acquarolo, Roman dialect for a man selling water. These acquaroli were very active in the 16th century. They would collect water from the Tiber River during the night and then sell it to people during the day. So as you can see here, he's pouring water from his barrel into a small container, a small fountain. So this sculpture was executed by a sculptor called Jacopo del Conte on behalf of the Acquaroli Association. Now today, as you can see, his face is heavily damaged, just a consequence of being outdoors over a long period of time. What I find particularly cool about this sculpture is the way that his torso emerges from the stone wall behind him. So that, together with his hunched shoulders, creates the impression that he's leaning forward in an attempt to whisper something to you. So I think it's pretty clear why these specific sculptures were chosen to become the talking sculptures of Rome. They are all incredibly expressive in their own way, be it through their gestures, their poses, or their expressions. I think they really all embody their role as spokespeople very well. Okay, and last but not least, we have Il Babuino, the baboon. our last of the 6 talking sculptures. Now you can see that he definitely doesn't look happy about something. He looks like he wants to complain or make a satirical comment. So he's perfect for his role as a talking sculpture. Now this sculpture is an ancient depiction of the satyr Silenus, a figure from Roman mythology who was half man, half goat. So that explains his legs. They are goat legs. So this sculpture was considered so ugly and so deformed that he actually became known as Il Babuino, the baboon. And the street on which he's located became known as Via del Babuino instead of its original name, Via Paolina. Now the satirical comments that were left with this particular sculpture came to be known as Babuinate, again after his name. Alright guys, so that is everything from me for today. I really hope you enjoyed learning about these talking sculptures, a tradition very specific to the city of Rome. If you have any comments, questions, queries, let me know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so for similar content on art all around the world. Thank you ever so much for watching, and see you next time.